Namaskar, myself Dr. P.M. Tripathi, Director VAID ICS Lucknow. I have been teaching, guiding and mentoring students for public administration since 1998. So it has been 27 long years that I have been associated with this journey of UPSC, and my love for public administration as a subject. I have been its very thoughtful student. I have tried my level best to guide students who have opted for public administration as their optional paper. Now, with any time hardly left, those who are going to appear in UPSC Mains 2025 having public administration as their optional subject, there is a quick relook at those important areas which, according to my opinion, are important, and not important only for public administration as an optional subject, but also for general studies and the related areas in paper 2 and paper 4 of GS. What I would suggest you that you must have gone through the syllabus of public administration, you must have written the notes of public administration, prepared it well, and you must have gone through previous year question papers also. You have been writing answers to public administration for the last few months. Therefore, it is hardly any time left to revise the syllabus or go through the entire topic of discussion. Rather, we must only focus on those important areas which, in my view, are important for UPSC Mains 2025. What I see here, that in public administration, there are few important areas which we need to understand. The tone, tenor, theme and temperament of this paper is very dynamic, current-based, highly analytical. And therefore, you have to make all your endeavor, effort and enterprise to write your answers incorporating the latest development and keeping in mind the current issues related to society, economy, polity, national international affairs, governance, and therefore there are few important areas which I would like you to prepare well for upcoming UPSC Mains 2025, not only in public administration optional but also for GS. So what are the areas? The areas are digital governance and AI ethics. There are issues, context and challenge, balancing automation with privacy, equity and transparency. Context, AI is being used in everything from welfare delivery to predictive policing. Challenge, avoiding algorithmic bias, ensuring data protection, especially in countries with weak data laws and digital exclusion of rural or underprivileged populations. Second is inclusive and participatory governance, and there are issues which are related to inclusive and participatory governance, the issues, trends and need. Ensuring citizen engagement goes beyond tokenism. Trend, use of platforms for e-participation, RTI, right to information and social audits. Need, deepening democratic responsiveness and improving feedback loops. Third is administrative accountability. Now there are issues, weak enforcement of ethical standards and accountability mechanisms. Example, delay in grievance redressal, low conviction in corruption cases. Development, strengthening Lokpal, digitization of vigilance and more public dashboards. Decentralization and local governance. When we talk about decentralization and local governance, then there are issues related to Panchayati Raj institutions and urban local bodies still face fund, function and functionary gaps. Mind these three words: fund, function and functionary gaps. And the updates focus on urban governance reforms, that is Amrut 2, Smart Cities 2, but rural areas still need capacity building. And then we move on to the next area, which I feel very important for this year examination, is environmental governance. The issues in environmental governance are climate resilience is not mainstreamed into administration. Policy shift. Governments are now focusing on climate budgeting, green audits, climate budgeting, green audits, and decentralized disaster response system. Administrative reforms, again, it is a very important area, and therefore you need to understand administrative reforms, issue outdated procedures, rigid hierarchies, and a slow shift toward performance-based systems. Update India has seen some changes under the mission Karmayogi, emphasizing capacity building and behavioral change among civil servants. Developments in society, economy, polity, and governance in the recent past. When we talk about this, then in society, rise of aspirational citizens, more aware, demanding better delivery, transparency and dignity. Social inclusion, and when we talk about social inclusion, then gender, caste and LGBTQ plus inclusivity begin being pushed into policy and administration, though with varying results. Misinformation crisis, fake news and social media manipulation impacting public discourse and citizen trust. Now, when we talk about misinformation crisis, we have also seen this in the recent Operation Sindoor, that our armed forces were not only fighting the enemies outside the country, but enemies on social media as well. Not only social media, but the mainstream international media. They were also indulged in whole lot of propaganda, whole lot of spreading jargon, misinformation, and therefore our armed forces were fighting two front battles. One with the cross-border terrorism, and the second with the misinformation which were being spread by Pakistan and other international social media groups, media houses, print and electronic media journals, as well as social media platforms. So we have to keep in mind that Operation Sindoor is a lesson to be learned, that how we must tackle with this spread of grapevine and the communication which leads to misinformation and sabotage our country's image and other vital resources. Further, we move on to the other areas, economy, post-COVID recovery. That is very important this year, because from 2020 to 2025, in the last 5 years, we have seen that how gradual but uneven, with growth in digital and green sectors. Gig economy, rise in informal contractual work, leading to calls for labor code reforms. Inflation and unemployment, persistent concerns impacting social security demands. When we talk about polity, then centralization of power, especially in federal systems like India, rise of cooperative but competitive federalism, as we can see that today's state governments, especially those where non-BJP party is the ruling government, they are at loggerheads with the union government led by Shri Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of our country. And therefore, what we have seen, whether it is the case of Tamil Nadu, Kerala, West Bengal, or other states which are ruled by different regional political parties or non-BJP political parties, that has led to crisis and conflict to a great extent that the Supreme Court had to exercise its Article 142, that is complete justice, and the prerogative of President and Governor was challenged, that if any bill is passed by the Parliament or the State Assembly, then Governor and the President, as the case may be, they must approve of the bill and ratify it, not exceeding the period of 3 months. So they must give their assent within 3 months. If it is delayed for some reason or it is denied, then President and Governor must also give the reason as to why this delay is taking place. Not only this, if neither the reason is given nor approval is given, and if it is kept pending in the office of the President and Governor, then it will be presumed to be passed, automatically passed. This is what led to a new issue area in public administration, that a new discourse, that how Supreme Court has transgressed its authority and has encroached upon the domain of legislature and executive. President and Governor cannot be given such dictates by the Supreme Court, or the Supreme Court has really encroached upon the areas of legislature and executive. This is the topic of discussion today. And therefore, judiciary executive dynamics, questions on judicial independence and administrative overreach. Further, electoral reforms debate, one nation, one election proposal, and funding transparency concerns. This is also very important for this year's public administration optional as well as general studies paper. Not only this, we have to move further and take into account about the issues related to governance. The issues related to governance, when we talk about this, then policy making through data, that is very important. Push for evidence-based policy, example PM Gati Shakti. This is very important and very mega flagship program of the Government of India. Digital India Act, public service delivery, use of direct benefit transfer, JAM Trinity, Jan Dhan, Aadhaar, Mobile Trinity. So this Aadhaar based system, and global influences, ESG, environmental social governance, norms entering into public policy design, environmental and social governance. Then we talk about India-specific public administration trends in 2025, especially important for this year's examination. That is Mission Karmyogi. It was also asked in the previous main examination, but I think it can be asked in a different format, in a different way this year also. So Mission Karmyogi, what it is, a civil services capacity building initiative launched to reform bureaucratic training. So it is a part of personnel administration in paper 1. Aim, shift from rule-based to role-based governance. That is very important. Rule-based to role-based. And significance, promotes behavioral reform, competency mapping, and performance-based evaluations. Further, digital public infrastructure, DPI. Digital public infrastructure, DPI, examples Aadhaar, UPI, DigiLocker, CoWIN, ONDC. Impact, India is becoming a model for digital governance globally. As you can see that how various heads of the state who have visited India in the recent past, they have made payments using UPI and BHIM app. And there are concerns ensuring inclusion. Many still lack digital literacy or access. So the lack of digital literacy, that is, I say, lack of electronic literacy, digital literacy, and its access. And then we talk about aspirational districts and Vikasit Bharat Abhiyan. If India has to achieve its objective of having Vikasit Bharat by 2047 in our 100th year of independence, then we must address these issues related to aspirational districts and make India a truly Vikasit Bharat. And for that, Vikasit Bharat Abhiyan is going to play a very important role. Focus is on data-driven development in backward regions, governance innovation, use of district-level scorecards, real-time dashboards, effectiveness. It has improved inter-district competition, but still struggles with last-mile connectivity. That is very important to address and understand. Then there are issues related to environmental governance, and the updates related to it are, India has created its first carbon credit trading scheme 2023. So this carbon credit trading scheme 2023 and is actively promoting green energy like PM Surya Ghar Yojana. Now this PM Surya Ghar Yojana is also very important, not for only public administration as an option, but for general studies also. Then there are administrative change, state pollution control boards being digitized and monitored centrally. This digitization of pollution control board is very important. There are issues related to federalism and center-state relations. What are those issues? Tension. States complaining of reduced fiscal space and increased centralization via centrally sponsored schemes. Now, this issue has been raised before the newly constituted Finance Commission also. It has been a long pending demands of the state that they are not given their due share. And many of the states, including Uttar Pradesh and many other states of South India, they have demanded that from the central tax revenue share, it should be increased from 41% to at least 50%. Then further reform agenda, greater say for states in Niti Aayog, that states should be given more role and active participation in Niti Aayog, interstate councils as well. Then we move on to certain thinkers of paper 1, which are specifically very important to my opinion, and relevant theoretical lens from public administration thinkers. Fred Riggs Prismatic Society application. India is still transitioning between traditional and modern administrative systems. A prismatic society. India is a true and a real example of a prismatic society. Relevance explains India's administrative gaps. Formal rules exist, but informal practices dominate. That is jugaad or red tape. India is called not only a superpower in IT, information technology, but also JT, jugaad technology. Then we talk also about Dwight Waldo, public administration as a moral endeavor. That is very important to note this year. Moral endeavor, idea governance isn't just technical. It must also reflect ethics, citizenship, and responsibility. Application, India's push for citizen charters and e-grievance portals fits this ethical governance framework. Then, new public management. You can also watch my video, which is uploaded already on my YouTube channel, VAID ICS, New Public Management, at least a few years ago. That will give you an insight about new public management. That is available in English and Hindi bilingual mode, so you can easily understand whether you have Hindi medium as a medium or you have English as a medium of answer writing. Then new public management versus new public governance, NPM versus NPG. This is very important. NPM versus NPG, new public governance. You have been studying till date only about NPA, new public administration versus NPM, new public management. But this time I would ask you to give special emphasis and focus upon new public management NPM and new public governance NPG. Now NPM, as you can see, that from 1990s to 2010, efficiency, outsourcing, public-private partnership, and NPG today, co-creation with citizens. Co-creation with citizens, co-production of planned policies and program, partnership with NGOs, participatory budgeting, not only participatory management, but also participatory budgeting. And India's shift moves from service delivery as a transition, NPM, to collaboration, NPG. That is the most important and striking distinct difference between NPM and NPG. That is collaboration. Collaboration with civil society, collaboration with private sector, collaboration with NGOs. And this is what makes Jan Bhagidari in G20. Now, emerging priorities going forward. When we talk about this, then we can clearly make a chart that is climate change, green budgeting, sustainable urban planning, demographic diversity, multilingual service delivery, gender sensitive policies, urbanization, smart cities 2, municipal cadre reforms, trust deficit, RTI Act use, grievance redressal platforms, AI and automation, capacity building in data ethics, AI for good governance. So you can see very clearly that in this UPSC Mains 2025, I have sorted and picked certain very important areas which to my mind are important for this year examination, not only for public administration optional, but also for general studies. I have deliberately not divided your topics between paper 1 and paper 2 of public administration, because I personally feel that paper 1 and paper 2 are not two different papers. They are only for the sake of examination. The syllabus has been divided in paper 1 and paper 2, but what we see, the type of questions which are asked in UPSC, that paper 1 is applicable in the theory and practice of paper 2, and paper 2 is applicable in theory and practice of paper 1. So we have to keep reading these two, paper 1 and paper 2, simultaneously and engage ourselves with the tone, tenor, theme and temperament of paper 1 and paper 2, so that we keep transforming the theories and practices of the topic and syllabus of paper 1 and interlink with paper 2. Likewise, we must try to interlink paper 2 with paper 1. So with hardly any time left for UPSC Mains 2025, if you still feel any hardship or difficulty in writing or understanding optional paper of public administration, you may contact us in the given numbers in this video. We will definitely help you in whatever manner and capacity, how you should write an answer, how you should approach public administration as an optional paper in whatever given time left with us. I understand that we are having paucity of time, but whatever time we have, we can really work together and create wonders. I will ask you to write answers, give you some model questions. Based upon that, I will monitor and evaluate your answers and try to improve wherever I find that you are lacking, and we can work together so as to achieve success in the main examination 2025. I've been teaching, guiding and studying public administration, mentoring students in this subject for almost 27, 28 years. So it has been quite a long period. I have seen this subject, that how it has evolved, how it has grown, how it has developed over a period of time. So please do not hesitate in contacting us for writing the answer of public administration for main examination 2025, and I may also help you in paper 2 and paper 4, that is Indian Polity, Constitution and Governance and Ethics paper. For that, we may connect with Zoom or Google Meet or through WhatsApp call. We can interact, we can fix time, and on the decided and scheduled time, we will discuss about half an hour to 45 minutes to 1 hour, maybe 1.5 hours to 2 hours, to sort out your problems, if at all you have any, and to the best of my capacity, I will not only mentor you for UPSC exam 2025, but will also guide you to the best of my ability, knowledge and capacity with whatever experience and expertise I have, so as to make you successful in this upcoming examination of UPSC Civil Services 2025. All my good wishes, best of luck to you. I know that in a short video, it is not possible to completely cover the entire syllabus of public administration, and therefore I have decided deliberately to sum up paper 1 and paper 2 of public administration in one single video, together intermixing and interlinking with paper 1 and paper 2, so that if you have any issues, doubts, queries, questions, apprehensions in your mind related to answer writing in optional paper, please do not hesitate to call and contact us. All my good wishes and best of luck to you. Thank you.